pa rin. Next, in any place where the parties were found as a result of work. Yun. Ito yung what I'm talking about. As a result of work or education or training, responsibilities, or relations. Okay, you will have a team building. Yeah, team building. Invite tanan. Yeah, nag-buy group ka. Yeah, imong ka-buy group ka tulad sa imong idol, katong crush estudyante, or imong kauban sa trabaho. Mo na silang duwa-duwa ka, group yourselves into 5, ganun. Yeah, pero may ka magpa-building niya, kamuranduhan, no? Or ma-out tayo mo, kamuranduhan mo istorya. Ina-isolate niya. Ayun, result of work yun, or responsibilities. You will go somewhere there in Bantayan Island. You will bring her to the Camp Sawi. Sibubuhayin mo yung puso niya. Yun yung plano mo. Di ba? Okay. So, third, work or education or training related social functions. Mga acquaintance party, ganun. Disco kag-appeal. Ikaw ang maestro sa OJT, no? Dili na to. Ikaw ang appeal si Sir Tuaso, no? Pero ikaw ang maestro sa OJT. Yeah, makikidisco-disco sa imong estudyante. Yeah, kahit na nga disco, kay ka-grind naman yun, no? Budots naman yun. Pero kamong duha, imong gibudots. Yun. So, that's already kung matanaw na sa receiver, sa recipient, no, the student has an offensive act, she might file a case against you. Okay. Fourth, while on official business outside the office or school or training institution or during work or school or training related travel, as I've mentioned to you, no, mga team building, seminars. Good thing about now, no, perhaps team building and seminars are done in online. So, meron pa bang sexual harassment doon, sir? Meron. Okay. Because this can be done online. Okay. Malay natin dito may nagchat-chat, no? Private conversation. Binabastos na yung estudyante natin. So, it's still possible. Okay. Next. Hindi naman mo next. Yay. Ang slide na ko, no? Kanang murag akong export. Wala ka move on. Sige, kadot lang class, ladies and gentlemen. Are you still okay there? Hello? Okay pa mo?
Sure. Alive and well.
Okay. Good. So later mag-vista, I will be giving free load para sa inyong klase. Courtesy of Sir Tuason. All right. So at official conferences, forums, symposium, training sessions, and number 6, telephone, cellular phone, fax machine, or electronic mail. No, even in TikTok or Instagram, Facebook, pwede na yun. Yun, class. Ladies and gentlemen, no? So what are the punishable acts? Ito, you should remember this, okay? Because you might be the victim or you are the protector, of course, no? I don't expect you to be the perpetrator, no? Ang perpetrator, i-disown yun na mo, no? Ako yun mong ingon nga, wala na nakapaminaw sa akong lecture on sexual harassment. Okay? So, I always expect you to know the punishable acts kasi you are the protector. And at least no, dili mo mabiktima, especially the girls here. And of course, kita sa mga laki, mabiktima sa taan eh. So, number 1, in a work-related or employment environment, sexual harassment is committed when yun, sexual favor para mo increase ang sweldo or para i-promote yun or para dawaton. Sir, I want to apply. Okay, give me your resume. Talk to me in the office, personnel. I just want to know your background. All right. And there was a case. Sabi ni manager, HR. Okay. There are lots of beautiful women here. Yan na itong babae sa nga. Guwapasad. Yan na. Yes, I agree, sir. Why is that so, sir? So, kinaunta naman og why. Yun, naka-idea si sir. You will know later, no? Just call this number he is the manager, and he will get you somewhere. He will meet you somewhere. So, be set up sa HR. Conspirator, no? Co-conspirator. Yun. The manager waited in a wine shop. Parang labi here in Lahog ba? Or sa Taps, no? Namay nga na. Yun, so the applicant, beautiful woman, went there. And then the manager said, oh, since you are here and you were informed already about the protocol. No? What is the protocol, sir? A manager. You already know that many beautiful women are here in my office. Why is that so, sir? Because they're doing me a favor. Doing me a favor always. Eh, wala pa akong palya. Kaya wala din silang palya na magiging officially hired sila. Yun. Eh, itong babae, parang iba yung kutob niya. Kaya nagsumbong siya sa authority. And when she filed the case, lots of employees also, the women employees in that office also supported her. So yun, tinanong, one of the defenses of the manager is this, no? He said, I did not explicitly or expressly ask for a sexual favor. Eh, sinabi lang niya, if you will do this or agree to mine, to what I want, eh, magiging ganun ka rin sa kanila. You will be officially hired. So, it's not explicit, no? It is not necessary nga explicit yung sexual favor, no? Nay, mahimuti kang manager, kanang magkwanta, ganita, no? Let's make love, no? Let's enjoy the night. Parang ganun, no? Hindi necessary. So, kahit implicit lang, kita mo yan sa the way you look at you, gestures, and those expressions na implicit. Parang may implication na ganun, na ganito. Ma-understand mo, hindi naman tayo mga, we're not born yesterday, right? So, we have common sense. Kaya napipil natin yun. So, even in that case, even in that regard only, the Supreme Court held that the manager is guilty of sexual harassment. And it was being corroborated by the statements of other women employees in that office. Yun, so it's not limited to application, no? It includes favorable compensation, or so that you will be given a holiday pay, conditions, promotions, privileges, or the refusal to grant sexual favor results in limiting, no? Parang, yeah, there was a bank here, no? The case did not reach to the Supreme Court kasi nag-settle. But million yung settlement. Kasi she's a bank teller and very beautiful. So the manager got interested in her, And because she refused, wala palang sexual favor doon. Hinalikan siya dito sa lieg. Oh. Kunya kay tiguang naman, masiganahin. Pero, just kidding. Kanang hinalikan siya sa liig ng kanyang manager, kaya nagreklamo siya. Yun. Ay, hindi pa siya nagreklamo para sa case, no? Hindi pa siya nagreklamo, parang wala ang manager niya, ay, wala na tayo, na tinda na pagsimot sa mong buhok, kay mumot kayo, among shampoo kay kuan, palmolive, no? Kumot kayo, pink. Ayun. And, because the employee avoided him, na-feel sa manager na lain ang pagsabot, na lain ang manager, no? So, the manager transferred the teller to another branch very far from her hometown. Tayo kayo kung dire sa Cebu City, dito i-assign sa Bugo, ibalhin, i-transfer. Klaro kayo, no? There was something, no? The sexual favor results in limiting, segregating, or classifying the employee. So, i-discriminate siya, i-transfer siya o laing lugar, nalayo kayo sa balay, and wala sa rason niya i-transfer siya, no? Because the same lang na teller. And there was also one, no, nga gi-demote siya from being work sa call center to siya nga from being a team manager, mo siyang balik siya sa pagka-agent. Yun. So those kinds of things, mga manifestations to siya nga wala gi-grant ang sexual favor, or there was indeed a sexual favor that was not being granted by the employee. Okay, I hope that's clear, ladies and gentlemen. And letter B, the above acts would impair the employee's rights or privileges. So as I mentioned to you, no, para hindi ka nasulduan, hindi nasakto yung sweldo mo, hindi ka nabibigyan ng 13th month pay or holiday pay because of the denied sexual favor. Third, above acts would result in an intimidating, hostile, or offensive environment for the employee. Okay.
Siging badger.
Okay. It's a seeking badger.
Kabuk-buk, tambuk. Iya, tambuk.
Is this from the Zoom? Okay. Yeah, I understand. When I went to Manila, somebody took a photo of me. When I was reviewing for the bar exam, sabi niya, wala si King Badger. Nag-rap ako. Ayun, nag-rap ako dito. No? Pero I told her na hindi ako katulad ni King Badger. Kasi loyal and faithful ako. Nakalusot pa rin si King Badger. Sabi nila, pumunta ako sa ABS. Sabi nila, Sir Elmo Magalog na, bakit ang aga mo, wala kang taping ngayon? Yan, sabi ko nga, baka kuha lang, mag-audition pa ako, hindi ako si Elmo Magalog na, baka kamukha lang. Yun. Okay pa mo dyan, no? Bigyan ko kayo ng Yakult. Okay mo diha?
Pa sir,
Live pa sir.
Okay. Hindi na naman nakamove on tong slide. For a while, kasi I know you are willing to wait. So in an education or training environment, so it's the same, no? There is a sexual favor. And this one, letter A, this was already mentioned a while ago, no? Against one who is under the care, custody, or supervision of the offender. Against one whose education, training, is entrusted to the offender. And sexual favor is made a condition to the giving of a passing grade, or the granting of honors or scholarships, or the payment of stipend, allowance, or other benefits, privileges, or considerations. Is this familiar to you, ladies and gentlemen? And letter D, when the sexual advances result in an intimidating, hostile, or offensive environment. That's what I really experienced, ladies and gentlemen. So note, any person who directs or induces another to commit any act of sexual harassment, as you can define, or who cooperates in the commission thereof by another without which it would have not been committed, shall also be held liable under this act. So going back to the example of the HR who set up his manager to meet that beautiful woman who was applying for a certain position in their company, that HR could be held liable for this act. Now, even if he was not the one who directly involved in sexual harassment, but he helped, and without him, that sexual harassment would not have been possible, pwede siya kasuhan sa RA 7877. Okay, I hope that's clear, ladies and gentlemen. So what are the punishable acts sa CSC? Daghan, almost the same acts. Submission to or rejection of the act or series of acts is used as a basis for any employment decision. So just like that, no? If you are a government employee or you are the mayor or city councilor, kaya mga city councilor, they have the opportunity to get someone they like as their employee. Kabantay mo, anha ganing city hall class, di ba? Kaya ang mga staff, mga city councilor, mga beauty queen. Yun. Try to visit there. Mga beauty queen, or mga guwapa kayo, apil o Miss Mandawi, Miss Cebu, Bilibining Cebu, yun. Kasi they have the luxury of looking for their staff. Confidential, by trust and confidence, kung na nila, bisag dili ko na siya qualified. And some of them, because they are being promised during the election, if you want to help me, if you will help me in the election, you will be given a chance to work for me whenever I will be sitting as a city councilor already or a vice mayor. So yun. So mga ganon, for example, the city councilor would want to admit this applicant. Yun, ginawa na yun mga sexual favor. So and as a return, he will be or she will be admitted or her salary will increase. So just like in the private sector, ladies and gentlemen. Number 2, act or series of acts have the purpose or effect of interfering with the complainant's work performance or creating an intimidating, hostile, or offensive work environment. Okay, and we have number 3, to cause discrimination, just the same with RA 7877. So in education, yun, merong mga sexual favor as a return of scholarship, purpose of interfering with the performance, creating hostile environment, discrimination, is the same. Okay, and we have, in addition to CC resolution, merong mga illustrative forms of sexual harassment here, ladies and gentlemen. No? Malicious touching, overt sexual advances, gestures with lewd design, with lewd insinuation. No? May paggawa sa your boss or your colleague in the government, inon kag mga binastos, no? Yeah, I have a friend who was being orally lang, no? Or through phone, through phone. She felt being harassed because the boy said, who is also my colleague, no, friend. Ingnan niya nga miss, samtang nag-lockdown ba, pabalik nimo nagkalami man ka. So mga ingana nga gesture, mga kind of conversations. You should avoid it, no, because it might be interpreted as harassment, and it is really a kind of harassment, ladies and gentlemen. No, mga gestures, sexual connotations ng mga conversations. All right. Verbal, such but not limited to requests or demands for sexual favors or lurid remarks. Oh, there was a teacher there, you know, in Cagayan. Ningun he asked the student to answer something, and the student was not able to hear it. So the student said, "Please come again, sir. Please come again." Meaning, repeat what he was said. Pero ang maestro, nagbinastos ningon siya nga, "Oh, you want me to come again? You know that it's really difficult for me to come again. We need some beer and wine and lots of energizers for me to come again." Ginangana naman siya. Iha siya, no? And he was, his license was revoked, suspended of being a teacher. Tungkol sa iyang gisulti, no? So be careful tayo ng mga jokes na to, no? Huwag ka mo, mahimo na mong police puhon, you will be handling clients, civilians in the streets or wherever you are assigned. Be careful, no? Be careful of what you are going to say to them, because there might be a sexual implications that are not acceptable by the recipient. Malay mo, conservative yan, no? Hindi siya open-minded. It's not all, no? Nga literal kayo mag-una-una. Therefore, you must be careful. Next, use of objects, pictures, or graphics, letters, or writing notes with sexual underpinnings. Yun. Before, no, there was this teacher. Uso pa man ka ng 3310, di ba? Kanang mga quotes, aka ng mga emoticons nga maporma siya into something. Yun. Iyamang gi-send niya, sa young student, next man mo click mo, porma man siya og reproductive system sa laki. So yun, it could be a ground for sexual harassment already. And other forms analogous to the foregoing. So this is very dangerous. Other forms analogous, no? Be careful, ladies and gentlemen, because this, whatever you do nga na sexual implication, that could be covered here under this resolution. Okay. So are you still okay? Okay pa mo diha?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So clear ang discussion. Kaya makasabot na mo. Hindi na naman nag-move on tong slide. Okay. So here's a question here. Ayun. So Sir Twas, can you do me a favor? Please choose a student, no, and give plus points if he or she can answer this. Can sexual harassment occur between two members of the same sex? Sir Twas, kinsa itong piliyon niya, Sir Twas?
So, may I call Virgilia Mamak,
Ala, Mama Virgilia.
our academic scholar? So I think she
Yeah.
can answer this question.
Okay, academic scholar.
Mamak, Virgilia?
Oy, ni absent sir, ni absent.
I think she is unattentive, no? So I will call another student. Leonie Tagat. Leonie?
Ha.
Yes, sir.
Yes. Can you answer the question on the slide, no? Presented
Yes, sir.
by our guest speaker.
Yes, sir. I think sexual harassment could occur between two members of the same sex, sir. Especially if there is no consent to the other party, sir.
Okay. So that's correct, Sir Twas, no? Yes, the law made no distinction or qualification, no? Any employee, male or female, may rightfully cry foul provided claims well substantiated, no? Unlike the traditional definition of rape, wherein the woman is only a woman can be a victim. Here, in sexual harassment, pwede laki, pwede babae ang victim, pwede laki or pwede babae ang makabiolate. So there's no distinction. All right, thank you, Ms. Tagat. Okay, so are employers required to provide sexual harassment training for their employees? Yes, now they must promulgate appropriate rules and regulations and create a committee on decorum and investigation of cases on sexual harassment. This is the same in the CSC resolution number 010940 that all agents of the government, no, shall develop an education and training program for their officials employees. The same, no, proper decorum about sexual harassment, prevent its occurrence, and ensure proper investigation, prosecution, and resolution of sexual harassment cases. Yon. So what makes this law a special penal law? No? Because of penalties. Kasi there are laws that have no penalties. That's why dili na siya mapil sa inyong studyhan ng special penal laws. But this is included. Okay, so there are liabilities and damages for sexual harassment. And where do they fall, no? So according to section 4, okay, of RA 7877, if you are an employer or you are a head of an office, or for example, you are the campus director or the dean, you will be solidarily liable for damages arising from the acts of sexual harassment. What does it mean? No? So if you are an employer, even if you are not the one who committed the sexual harassment, but you were negligent enough, or you were not able to provide enough or proper investigation or prevention of the said crime, you will be held solidarily liable. What's the meaning of that? For damages lang, of course, kung ma-prison ng tao nga nakabiolate na, dili si kawapilo ka prison, no? Damages, remember the doctrine, no, that every person criminally liable is civilly liable under the RPC, Article 100. Remember that always. No, ani sa civil aspect, If you are the head of an institution and you were not able to prevent or provide proper investigation, ma-appeal ka o pabayad sa damages kaning civil aspect. So kung dili ka bayad ning tao nga nakakommit og sexual harassment, ikaw ang mubayad. So you must prevent this thing to happen, or at least malang due proper investigation right after reported, or if there is a report for this kind of violation. Now, Section 7. Any person who violates provision of this act shall be penalized by imprisonment of not less than 1 month or more than 6 months, or a fine of not less than 10,000 pesos or more than 20,000 pesos, or both. Such fine and imprisonment at the discretion of the court. Yun. So, masyadong maliit. Hindi pa na-cover ng inflation rate itong penalty, ladies and gentlemen. No? Konti lang, murag dili makatagam, di ba? Pero the good thing here is that there is both such fine and imprisonment at the discretion of the court. No, it depends upon the act and the effect. I-weigh na sa court, and then they will make this penalty, or they will increase the penalty. Mo na yan naka-danger, kuya, ano nga balaod mo? There is a discretion of the court. Okay. So, sa government naman na sexual harassment, ito muna. The head of office who fails to act within 15 days from receipt of any complaint for sexual harassment properly filed against an employee, that office shall be charged with neglect of duty. So remember that employees in the government can be held criminally and administratively. Okay, unsa man ang administrative nga liability, sir? It is all about your duty. Being a public officer, you are expected to do this. Now, if you fail to do what you are expected to do, then there is neglect of duty. So yun, pwede kang kasuhan ng neglect of duty. You are a police officer assigned in the women's division, and somebody, government employee, was reported by a victim. Wala ni mo gi-act, pwede ka in-neglect of duty, ana. Or if you are a head of office and then you fail to report or do an investigation within 15 days, you can be held liable for neglect of duty. Okay. So sa section 55 sa katulad sa civil service nga circular class, na ay gitawag og regular or schedular rate of penalty, depende sa imong offense. Okay, so ari na sa ebidensya, no? You already studied evidence, and most or some of the cases are being dismissed because of lack of evidence. So there is this question: what does an employee who believes they have been sexually harassed have to prove for a successful claim? Ilahan ng mingi under RA 7877, no, about authority, influence, or moral ascendancy. So magkita lang na og kining certificate of employment, aning tawhana, and your certificate of employment, kita nga oy mas taas yung posisyon nimo. Okay? And the offender demands, requests, or otherwise requires any sexual favor from the victim. No, you can have your affidavit or your CCTV, for example, or text messages or emails. Okay, so remember always this doctrine class, no? The gravamen of the offense is not the violation of victim's sexuality, but the abuse of power of the offender. Ano man, if there is na-rape ni siya, kunya ang rape is done by his superior, pwede na siya kasuhan sa loob sexual harassment. Lahi sa na-rape. Okay? There is no double jeopardy in that. Kasi ang kinakasuhan natin ito, ang ating pinoprotect is the abuse. Okay? The abuse. There's always an abuse in sexual harassment. Abuse of power.